No one else could ever hold a candle. Get ready for a battle, 'cause you know that I was born for this. I was born for this. Never met a match I couldn't handle. No one else could ever hold a candle. Get ready for a battle, 'cause you know I was born. I tell you I was born for this. Ain't nothing gonna stop me now. I was born for this.
Happy Friday, May 6th. It's Chris and Mark with the NWA Exchange podcast. We've got one heck of a show for you tonight. A little bit of friends floating and flooding. Thanks for tuning in. Let's get into this. Hey, buddy, what's going on? Happy
What's
Friday.
going on, bro? I'm doing great. How about yourself?
Hanging in there, man. It's been a week, but the week is over. It's the weekend, and happy Friday.
Amen, man. The rain has just been brutal this week. I think
It's
we had
been
like
like
5 inches.
You're gonna have to name me like after them Soggy Bottom boys, man. I mean, it was as much rain as we've gotten this week.
Crazy.
It's been
man.
ridiculous, man. I mean, I
I
thought
know.
that stuff was supposed to be in April, but apparently Mother Nature didn't get the memo.
Well, Saturday, Sunday, they're calling for warmer weather, so hopefully that'll be it for the rain, and we'll start the dry out. So
Yeah.
um,
You know, usually
did-
usually this time of year, you know, it is. If you think about like, I mean, I like to go floating for Memorial Day and stuff. So we'll go out to the the Elk River, or we'll go up to the Illinois to go floating, and you know, water levels are pretty high. You know, most of the time, the past 4 or 5 years, the water levels have been up there. Sometimes they won't even let you float. So, you know,
Right.
I guess it's normal, but you know, this hasn't been a normal 2 years for anybody. So.
it's been crazy, man. It's
It
been
has.
unbelievable. Hey, I just got a memo from Square to Square, and we're going to discuss that bike race, but they're going to kind of try to reroute some people with the rain event. They're
Oh,
having
I didn't
some
even think
flooding
about
in there.
that.
So, yeah.
Yeah,
we'll
because
get
that goes
into it
down in
further.
some little valleys from Fayetteville to Bentonville and stuff. And
Yeah.
I didn't even think about that one. Wow.
Yeah, yeah. So
Well, hopefully we dry out a little bit overnight.
I hope so. So we're going to get into it. What's going on in the area? So
Yeah.
early voting is
Early voting.
starts Monday for Arkansas, May 9th to the 23rd. So
Get out and vote.
Yeah, we've talked about this before numerous times, and people need to step up and get out and vote. Make a difference. You know, the election
Yeah.
primary day is May. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Chris.
I was going to say voter turnout's kind of low on off presidential election year too. So you know, keep in mind, man, like it's our jobs as taxpayers to make sure that we're getting people in office that represent our views, our wishes, you know, our values. And so do
Right.
your research on the candidates. There is some candidates out there who, you know, they want to run on a ticket, but their views may not necessarily align. We covered some of that last week. I just want to, you know, make sure everybody does their research on them. That's it.
Yeah. So Arkansas is an open primary, so you don't have to vote by the party that you align with. So, which is good. I mean, most of the time, most primaries are closed, and if you're a Republican or a Democrat, you got to vote the line. And we talked about this before. If they don't align with you with what you believe in, then I mean, you got to go in a different direction.
Right.
You know, I mean, people, like you made a good point last week about people voting in the party line, and you need to think outside the box and look at it. Hey, if a Democrat represents what you believe in and what you align with, then you vote for him. Don't
Right.
just vote for him in the fact that because he aligns with that party, you know?
Right.
So,
Well, I mean, again, it goes back to what we said last week with the two-party system is obviously broken, right? And so, you know, I always looked at things like, you know, I'm kind of center, you know, I'm independent.
right.
But I think that it's going to be an interesting election cycle. I really do. I think with everything that's happened, I think we're going to get into kind of an interesting, you know, we're going to see soon too. So
Yeah, I think people are fed up, to be perfectly honest with you. The last 2 years have just been brutal, and who knows what the future is going to bring, but people realize they need to have people that represent what they believe in. So, so the primary day will be May 24th. The general election will be held on November 8th. It's hard to believe, but I mean, we're already in May, man.
I know this year's
You know?
flying by. It's flying by quick, which means either A, we're very distracted, or
Yeah.
B, very busy. One of the two.
Yeah. So location for voting, Benton County Courthouse out in Bentonville, East Central Ave, 215 East Central. There's plenty of parking across the way there. So again, you can have the governor's race, the lieutenant governor, the AG, the treasurer, secretary of state. It goes on and on. Auditor, land commissioner. On the federal level, you're looking at the U.S. Senate and U.S. House reps. So
The whole box of
there's-
nerds, man. You know,
Yeah,
it's like we're at the
yeah.
movie theater. A whole box of nerds.
So people have to really take some time and research these candidates and do their due diligence, because we know there's a lot of imposters out there. So
Yes, we do.
so Sunday, just a reminder for everybody, is Mother
What
to
did
take care of Mom.
Well,
you know?
it's what? I'm sorry, you broke up right there, buddy.
I said Mother's Day is Sunday, May 8th. So you got to take care of your mom.
Yeah.
know?
I mean, they do. You know, you got to think about how often you bugged your mom whenever you were a little kid.
Yeah.
You know, you're always like, oh, mom. Oh, hey, wait, we got a sound clip about that, right?
Lewis, Mom, Mommy,
Oh man.
Mama,
Oh, we can go on forever, buddy.
Mama, Ma.
Sounds like
Okay. I'm gonna have to kill it, man. But you know what I'm saying, man? It's Mother's Day. Get your mom a
Yeah.
card. Get your wife a card.
Yes.
Take care of their mothers. All right, you know.
A lot of sacrifice
Yeah.
for their kids, and a lot of time, and they should have more than one day, but we need to take care of them on Sunday. So don't forget, or else you're going to be in the doghouse. And no, Chris, I'm not going to get a Red Lobster gift card.
No, it's gonna be Olive Garden, man. No, I know. But
Oh,
I mean, I know my wife. I mean, she does a lot, and she really gives it all for our kid, and
with very little return too.
very little
A
return.
lot of sacrifices, that don't get paid, and they don't get a lot of recognition. So hats off to all the moms out there.
Yep.
So square to square bike race, Fayetteville to Bentonville, Saturday, May 7th.
People
at
gonna be
7
out
a.m.
on them bikes.
Yeah, we just got to be careful we're out there. Going to be some rerouting going on with this rain event. So there's some flooding here and there. So be careful. So it's gonna start in Fayetteville, and it's gonna finish up in the Bentonville Square. So start again at 7 a.m. It's gonna be at Walker Park in Fayetteville. So it'll finish up in downtown Bentonville, and
That's on
which will be-
15th Street over in Fayetteville.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. You're right. Yep.
Right.
So we got another bike race coming up too. Noon to Moon bike race,
Noon
May
to
14th.
Moon.
It's only a week and a half away. Kohler Mountain Bike Preserve. We always talk about it. I mean, it's unbelievable what they're doing over there. Airship coffee. There's hiking. There's camping. There's biking. There's everything over there. So just a reminder, Noon to Moon Bike Race, May 14th, Kohler Mountain Bike Preserve. There is parking lots over there, 2500 Northwest 3rd Street in Bentonville.
Okay.
So that'll run from 12 p.m. To 12 a.m. So you get your biking on 12 hours worth, you know.
Definitely no shortage of mileage around here to ride bikes, man. Events. I actually saw that Common Ground Arkansas was a bike to the courthouse thing too, right? For voting. I mean, so everybody's promoting, you know, something bike related around here, which is cool. Fine and dandy, but I'm just saying, you know, there's no shortage of biking stuff.
No, there's a lot going on here. So Family Day at Crystal Bridges, Sunday, May 8th. So again, Mother's Day from 1 to 4. You can enjoy with your family outdoors in the museum's North Forest with music, art making. There'll be food trucks and a lot more. So that could be cool to go out with the family and mom, or maybe bring her out to dinner after. You know.
Yeah.
So we talked about this last week. You know, we both back the blue, man. It's National Police Week from May 15th to May 21st, along with National EMS. I mean, the blue, I mean, you can't, it's a heck of a job. It's a tough job that they're doing. And, you know, we talked about it. We really appreciate everything they do and the sacrifices they make, you know.
Speaking of the blue, man, I tell you, I've been getting stuff in my news feed for Fort Smith, man. I don't know what's going on down in Fort Smith, but those cops are constantly working, man. I mean, there's a lot of shootings and stuff and bad accidents, man. I don't know what's going on down in Fort Smith, man. You know, I know those guys are putting their lives on the line every day down there.
Oh, I'm sure, everywhere. And so hats off again to National Police Week and National EMS. We talked about the EMS last week too. Takes a particular type of person to do a job like that, and we appreciate what they do too. So farmers market again, just again, Bentonville farmers markets tomorrow, Saturday, and followed up by Sunday at the Bella Vista farmers market. So they'll both be running all the way to the end of October. And your favorite crawfish festival over at McCarty Daniel.
Yeah. That's tomorrow too, man. Tomorrow you go over to McCarty Daniel Ford. Yeah, they got a crawfish boil going on.
11 a.m., man.
Yeah, buddy. We get you some of them mud bugs.
You can hit the food here and pass out in the back of a Ford F-150 if you want.
Yeah. Oh.
All right. So let's go to break, Chris. And
yeah,
you want to get into some, what do we got going on?
Well, we've got a update from Greg Van Horn after the break on the dam situation on Little Sugar Creek. Awesome. So, you know, we tried to get in touch with him. I think it was last week or the week before. I think it was last week. He had something going on, so we kind of gave a brief update. But there is more that's going on. Some updates to the lawsuit. Also, some updates with what Friends of Little Sugar Creek's wanting to do. To try to move this dam removal in another direction. So we'll go to a quick break, and we'll come back with Greg momentarily. Be right back.
Sounds good.
Yeah, drive on the wrong side. Just live while I can. Stay here in the moment, 'cause I'm free to be my own man. No limits, no ceiling, no ground. No pressure gonna hold me down. No stopping till I break every rule. No limits to what I can do. Nowhere is too far away. No border gonna stand in my way. No wall that I can't break through. No limits to what I can do. Sometimes you got to get up and go. No limits, no ceiling, no ground. No pressure gonna hold me down. No stopping till I break every rule. No limits to what I can do. Nowhere is too far away. No border gonna stand in my way. No wall that I can't break through. No limits to what I can do.
We are back from that break, and we've got our good friend Greg Van Horn ready, queued up. Let's see, Magda One Inna says you're going to have to tell us someday about where. I'm trying to. It's cropping it out. I don't get why it's cropping it out. One sec, we're going to find out where that theme song is from. It's catchy. That theme song is from a music subscription service that I pay for. I think it's called No Limits. I'll have to look that up, and I'll put it in the show notes. They got some really good music out there. All right, so we're going to go right over and bring in our good friend Greg from Friends of Little Sugar Creek, and he's got some updates for us. What's going on, Greg?
There it is. Hey, Greg.
Hey, folks. Hey, Chris. Hey, Mark.
How's it going?
Hey, Bella Vista and YouTube.
YouTube,
around?
the interwebs. Just I call it the interwebs.
Hey, interwebs.
They'll let anybody in this place.
Got my life jacket.
Oh, you need it after all this flooding we've had, buddy. Yeah. I don't know how well does that chair float though, man. I saw you kind of doing some sweet moves over there.
I can paddle it a little. You know?
Heck yeah. Paddle harder. I hear banjos.
Internet content right there for me.
All right. Well, so, I've noticed some activity on your Facebook page trying to encourage people to create a report with the Arkansas Department of Environmental Quality. I think that's kind of ingenious. Can you tell us a little bit more about why you're taking that approach?
Can you repeat that, Chris? Sorry, I was taking off my life jacket.
Oh, well,
there.
no
I didn't
worries.
hear you.
I said,
Sorry to waste your time.
no, you're not wasting my time. I've noticed some activity on your Facebook page where you're requesting people to fill out a report with the Arkansas Department of Environmental Quality, and I think that's an ingenious approach because, during the break we played some of the video that I took yesterday, and on your page, a gentleman had posted. I think he gave you some video footage of basically it looked like an iceberg falling off. His name was
Right.
Ed Eves of Bella Vista,
Ed.
Arkansas.
Right. Ed got what they call it, a capture, where they go in and that was a good video. Do you have a copy of it?
I do. Yes, I could pull that up if you want me to play it, and
Play it, yeah.
we'll go
Glad if you
over
can, if
to
it's
our
not hard.
3-camera setup.
It's I don't want to give it away, but it relates to. Here we go.
Here
Just
we
a 10
go.
second
Everybody,
video.
just check it out. You know, give us your thoughts. Is this good for the environment?
Right. So this is the boom. There it goes.
Hold on. Let me back that up. Back that up. Wait.
That was.
Let's.
Whoa.
How many tons do you think that is right there? Maybe
that beautiful
ton?
beam footage.
That's some. I don't know. That's got to be
Like an instant replay
5
there,
feet,
buddy.
6 feet of asphalt, and that has got. That's. I think cubic yards. That's what they're.
Oh,
ooh,
gosh.
that's what they. I don't. And I mean.
Imagine if a kid was standing out there looking or fishing, and then, boom.
Yeah. It's awful what's the erosion that's going on. And that relates to the ADEQ, Arkansas Department of Environmental Quality complaint. We're asking everyone to submit a water pollution complaint to the Arkansas Department of Environmental Quality. It just takes a few minutes. It's a simple form. And it relates to the sediment that's going into the creek and the asphalt, concrete, everything that's shedding off the dam. Basically, when it erodes, that all falls in.
Okay.
So that's all pollution. That's all water pollution.
Well, it definitely is.
Yeah, it definitely is. I would say it is. But I think it's important to keep in mind that state agencies typically, they don't like to make waves sometimes, and we're asking.
We know that too well, man. Like I don't know that already, bro.
yeah, you guys know. So I mean, and so you're up against that somewhat. So it takes a lot of people to get them to prioritize this particular pollution. And they only have, I think, one inspector that handled for the entire Northwest Arkansas region. And so we need a lot of people. Not a lot of people send a complaint in, and hopefully we'll get some response.
Yeah, I logged the complaint in, so you know.
Thanks, Mark.
Yeah, they said they're going to be on site too, right? That's my understanding. I think there was a post on
Yeah.
Creek. So
we've heard that they are going to send someone. We don't know when.
Okay.
But that they are going to send somebody soon.
Good.
And so they would go and check it out, I guess, and see if it warrants.
So I did some drone work for you. I think it was a few weeks back where we tried to measure the gap, and we were lucky enough to find some photos on Google Earth, I think it was. And we could, right after the breach, I think it was like somewhere, it was the year of the breach. And then we took a video several weeks back, and we pulled a still picture from that. And how many feet would you estimate that we've lost off this dam in a year?
I think we talked about close to 50 feet. I mean, we used a reference point that was actually it was like a pile of, there we go.
Let there be light, by the way.
Hey! Yeah, we looked at a point on the dam that was a pile of asphalt that looked like it had been pushed back.
It's actually in that video. Let me go back to that scene real quick, because is that it? One sec, iceberg. If you look at the video. Right about here is that actual washed out spot that we were referencing.
Right. Yeah, I see it kind of on the right side of that picture.
Yeah, it's like a little foxhole right there, like little fighting position is what that's why it always catches my eyes, because it's like the dude in the military was like going to take shelter there. Like that's perfect because you got a supported area, right? I mean, that's the way my mind works, right? But like that's why I've used it as a reference point whenever I fly, and it's. Well, there used to be a lot of dirt and trees and everything else to the right of it. No, not anymore.
Yeah, right. And a power pole, even.
Yeah.
In between that pile and right, and the edge of the dam. Yeah, that's actually it's a that hole or that what you see there is actually a the remnants of a washout that had occurred from a previous overtopping. So it actually carved out the top of the dam when the water flowed over the top. Um, it does a what they call a hydraulic. It's or some people call it a keeper current, and it's just what water does when it flows over a wall or like a dam. It kind of curls back around, and so it just chewed out the backside of that dam, and it could have been years ago. And then they just filled it in with what was up there, what
Whatever.
makeshift kind of fill the hole in basically with what it turned out to be was asphalt and what just dirt and everything. So it wasn't really very hard for it to then erode later.
Yeah.
So that's what you're seeing there. And that point was we measured, I think, 50 feet roughly. 50 feet from the edge of the dam, sort of immediately after the breach in around May of 2021. You could measure back to it, and it was roughly, so
50 feet in width, but I mean, probably another 20, 30 feet down too, right? I mean, so
yeah,
that's a pretty decent amount of stuff.
Yeah, well, a lot of the material that you see behind the dam it's not like they built it that way. If you look back at historical pictures, the dam was just a straight earthen structure. But over the years, soil washed off the top and kind of gradually created this area behind the dam that was kind of a weird area where trees started growing and just a collection of gravel and dirt that had washed off the dam and settled back there. So
more or less like a levee dam or something. I mean, really, like
it's the dam itself.
Yeah, I mean, like that's that's the way I'm kind of picturing it now.
Yeah.
I mean, there had been some people that said it's solid rock or it's it's limestone and stuff, but we're not like when you get like a split section of it, like you're cutting the cake open and slicing it, and you're looking. There's no stone in there. It's more or less like a levee, man.
Yeah, they probably used what dirt was around the property to make the dam initially. And then we know from various historical accounts that the height of the dam was increased by, I don't know how many feet, but it made it a little bit higher. And I believe the length as well, they tried to. I guess the original owners built a smaller structure, and then when the Linebargers came in and bought it in 1917, they wanted a bigger reservoir, so they increased the size, thinking they could do that, increase the size of the dam. So there could be another dam underneath this dam. Kind of, you might see. People I talked to said, when you saw some of those original pictures, you'd see these like pilings or posts sticking up straight vertically from the bottom of the dam, and they could have been maybe remnants of the original structure that was there.
Yeah, and we saw those after the breach out there. We saw something that looked like that, straight up wood.
Yeah, we have photos of those, and yeah, they are peculiar. They're like cedar posts, maybe 8 feet high, planted straight down in the ground.
This is some footage I took yesterday evening. I wasn't out. I didn't get out there early. I was a busy day at work, but I did make it a point to get down there after dinner and do some flying just to check out the situation. That's where I noticed, there's decent amount that's gone. That channel is getting wider every major flood event that we get, or
it's insane
rain event we get. It's getting wider.
Oh yeah, definitely getting wider. That gap is, if it started off, they said they measured it at roughly 50 feet, and I'll bet it's every bit of 100 now, and it could be more. And that's mostly erosion you're seeing is coming off of the west side of the breach.
Yeah.
But hey, there's erosion going on that east side that looks pretty significant too. And on that east side, there is a overhanging piece of concrete that you can see.
Yeah, I
That-
saw that in the video.
Yeah, you can see it right here. It's that piece.
Dangerous too. Yeah, that's just going to give away eventually. Yeah.
Right. It's just unsupported, big chunk of concrete that is going nowhere but straight into that water.
People like to get out on that thing too. I see people fishing off of that and stuff. They take that little deer trail around the corner and climb up there, and they're casting. And it'd be interesting to see how much. I mean, once the waters recede a little bit, like what all. Like, I mean, there was some major chunks of asphalt dropping into that. So I'm wondering, did they break up? Did they wash downstream? But once the waters kind of go down a little bit and clear out, it'd be interesting to see. I'm going to definitely get back down there when the water clears up, do some more flying.
Yeah. And we're going to get in there, I think, and try to help that area, that channel or that gap a little bit, just with a little
bit of love,
tactical cleanup.
A little bit of love. Just love.
Yeah, just to make it a safe passageway for boaters and that kind of thing. So, to the extent that we can, I don't really know. Some of that stuff is pretty burly looking, and that'd be hard to. You need a lot of people or some kind of equipment on most of it. But really, it's crazy to leave a breach dam in the water, and it's. I think what we're seeing here, we're learning just how much trouble they are. That's a good video right there that we're looking at. That you can that to me really, I know it shows the backup. It shows that water is still being held back or constricted from it. The flow is still constricted, and so that raises the water level upstream from the dam. Somewhat. It's somewhat, backed up. The water's got to wait to get through that 100-foot gap, and so that causes problems upstream too.
Interestingly enough, though, Greg, is that parking lot's pretty stinking clear this time. There ain't a bunch of mud and stuff.
Good point. I wanted to make that point, so I'm glad you brought it up, Chris. You stole my thunder.
Sorry.
I'm pretty. That's pretty exciting to me because this was a significant rain event. We had what 5 inches? What did you say it was, Mark?
Yeah, at least that 5.5. I'd say.
Over just a 2 or 3 day rain event. So it wasn't a completely off the charts kind of thing. This sort of thing happens around here. It happens in the spring. It happens in the summer. It happened in the winter. So this kind of rain event typically would, as Chris mentioned, flood over on the east side of the property towards the Wall of Honor.
Yeah.
You'd see water rushing around the dam when it was completely intact. And then you'd see water on the west side of the dam rushing around the dam. So it would just chew out the parking lots over there. It would flood the Wall of Honor on the east side and just carve out chunks on the west side too, around the outside dam, because the water was really just looking for the lowest point. It doesn't care where that is. It's just going to go to that. And that happened to be, if it doesn't have to go over the dam, it'll just go right around it. And so it didn't do that at this flood event. It hasn't done that in an entire year since the dam is breached. Enough water is flowing through this breach now to keep the water out of the adjacent parking lots. And that's a huge deal.
Yeah.
Because the city spent a fortune.
The Wall of Honor.
Yeah,
the Wall of Honor
constantly repairing. So what you see when you drive by that or when you go to this park on both sides of the dam, both the east and west side of the dam, river left, river right, what you see there is sort of like a time capsule.
Yeah.
Because all of that, the logs that are laying there, the shipped up concrete, all of that occurred on April 29th, 2021. I mean, that wood is seasoned out there.
They haven't touched it, man.
Someone could go use it for firewood. And it's ridiculous. It's just sitting there, untouched, and it hasn't been wet. It hasn't been flooded by what is a sizable flood event. So it's good that it hasn't from a mitigation standpoint. It's good for the park. It's good for maintenance, keeping flooding done, and it's just and it's just a perfect example of how a floodplain is supposed to function, right? The
Yes.
floodplain has a job, and that job is to help to absorb the water during big rain events. But if you flood out the floodplain, if it's covered in water, well, then when the 5-inch rain comes down the pike, everything gets, there's nowhere, it doesn't, the floodplain doesn't have an opportunity to do its job.
Yeah, when you got 200-300 feet of that dam, that's still over towards the 71B side, right? I mean, there's a significant amount of dam there, right?
Blockage, yeah.
And so if that was to not be there, I would think that more water could move through this area quicker and get downstream because the golf courses were pretty hammered. I think even that bridge over there by the police department on, is it 340?
Yeah.
340 was closed down, right? Because of the amount of water coming in off of
it was closed.
I mean, it's like they got to have proper water mitigation in Northwest Arkansas with the amount of construction and building that's going on. This has to be taken seriously. It's getting worse every year. Every significant rain that we have, it seems to be getting worse and worse and worse. Johnson, up there right outside of Fayetteville, they had the railroad tracks there. Ton of gravel washed. I mean, the whole area there flooded. Now they got problems with people's apartments that got flooded. Really haven't ever flooded before. Now these people are like being told they got to move out of their apartments while they get them cleaned up. But there's housing shortages. Like, how do you we're going to have a serious problem.
Well, listen, I hate to get back to Little Sugar Creek, but I only have a short bit of time with you, lovely gentlemen. I want to solve the problems in Johnson too when it comes to this kind of thing. And a lot of that, I think, goes to the very first rule in floodplain management, and that is to leave room for the river. We've got to start learning to develop wisely and not to obstruct floodplains, not to build too close to them. I mean, upstream here in this, I don't know if you have any video of that, Chris, but upstream is a perfect example of an area that we could.
Are you talking about by the bridge?
Yeah.
I did not make it up there.
That's okay. Good. I don't want to talk about it. It takes too long. Let's just stick with the dam.
Yeah. Well, so you said there's been some updates on the court case. Obviously, the court case got sent back to the lower courts. Can you elaborate on that?
Oh boy, the lawsuit, right? Well, right. The lawsuit. Okay, so Bentonville filed a lawsuit called a declaratory judgment, and basically, that just means that they were asking a court to declare that they weren't obligated to rebuild the dam. So they weren't being sued by anybody. They were saying, we want to, it's kind of like, I don't know, I'm not a lawyer, I don't understand, but it's kind of like going to the court and saying, look, we're just trying to get some idea of what, if we did this, if we remove this dam, would we get in trouble? Would it be, illegal? Would somebody be able to sue us? They're wanting a declaration of that. They filed that in 2019, and that's 3 years ago, May of 2019. And the most recent ruling from the Arkansas Court of Appeals sent it right back to the beginning, right back to square one in the Benton County Circuit Court. So really, without any real clarification for either side.
Wow.
So that now that's where it is. Now the city attorney has said that he wants to appeal, and the first thing he did most recently this past week, was to file what they call a petition for rehearing. So he's asking the Court of Appeals to hear the trial all over again, basically, I guess. And in this rehearing petition, he came out with what was some pretty interesting information, which is that the Trailblazers, local organization that builds trails, the Trailblazers have the city attorney has said that the Trailblazers gifted the property to the city of Bentonville, and they didn't really have a traditional closing. So they just basically, a representative from the city and a representative from the Trailblazers signed the deed together or separate or whatever, but they both signed the deed, and then the deed was filed at the court, at the county clerk's office, where they file deeds on property. So they did that, the attorney is saying, and in that deed, this other document called a conveyance document that did have language in it about having to maintain the dam never made it to that closing. It was just omitted, torn up, burned, whatever. It didn't make it to the closing. So he's saying now, look, our representatives, when we accepted this property, we accepted it under the terms that there were no restrictions to have to keep a dam there forever. This is what the Bentonville city attorney
I'm
said.
sorry, like I mean, it's 2022, Greg. If it's not documented in your paperwork, it never happened.
Yeah.
Especially from a city perspective, right? I mean, from a government organization, if it's not clearly written out and documented, it never happened.
Well, yeah, for sure on public, I would think on public property, that's just absolutely. But I think for any property, I mean, it'd be like somebody coming to you and saying, "Hey, I noticed you painted your house a different color, and
You painted your fence white."
Yeah, oh gosh, heaven forbid, right? And so then they said to you, "Hey, I've got this letter that says you're not allowed to change the color of your house," and you say, "Well, wait a minute, I don't know what this letter is. When I bought my house, they told me I could have any one of these colors, and this is one of the colors I chose, and I don't know anything about your piece of paper." So it's really kind of weird, that they're doing this. But basically, it sounds to me like the city attorney, Bentonville city attorney, is saying, look, they're trying to backdoor us here a little bit and come in here and say, oh, we got this extra restriction that wasn't in the deed, it never went to closing, and now we want it to be enforced. So that's what he's asking for a rehearing.
Why I would be like why is the city attorney basically representing the plaintiff in this, though? He should be representing the city, one would think, right? The interest of the taxpayer, because to replace the dam is going to be a huge burden on the taxpayer.
Right.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I wish that the city attorney had, when we started this years ago, it was just sort of an insurmountable hurdle because the Bentonville city attorneys, whether they know it or not, are very persuasive, or they're very powerful. And the advice and that they were giving the city was to rebuild the dam. And sometimes it wasn't always legal advice. Sometimes the advice they were giving was just like, there's a trail there, and we want there to be a trail, which we do too. Everybody, we don't have problems with trail. And
a lot of people are bummed they can't use it now. And now with the other bridge being out, right? I mean, basically the whole park's unusable at this point. Unless you're going from one, you got to drive all the way around, go to the 71B parking lot, walk all the way up, then walk back. Like the loop made sense, but now, nobody's been able to enjoy that for quite some time, to be honest. I mean,
right.
It's a shame.
Right. It is. It hasn't.
It's a beautiful area too.
It could be. I think it could be the most beautiful park in this area. I mean, it's got a live water, free flowing water. People can access it. It's clear. It's clean. good for swimming, fishing.
I think of
they
like
can have
what they
trails.
did in Bentonville out there by Thadden Fieldhouse, right? Like where like the Osage Park. Have you been out there?
Yeah.
I mean, like it has a ton of potential to be even better than that, and I really like that place out there. Got a ton of
That's an
potential.
interesting, yeah. I mean, that's kind of an interesting place. I mean, it's not really a typical creek or anything. I mean, there is a creek. It's like a tributary, the water out there, and it does kind of flow. They used to have. I mean, did you go there in the old days when it was just Lake Bentonville? The
Yeah,
old
it was
Lake
like just a
Bentonville?
real wetlands area, kind of marshy, swampy wetlands
Yeah,
area.
yeah, yeah. Well, they kind of took out that dam there that made the smaller like Bentonville impoundment and just kind of opened that whole area up to that sort of wetland area. It's really, I think they call it like an Osage prairie,
Yeah.
and it's sort of there are beaver in there, and
Well, they got a dry
uh,
side, which is kind of prairie-ish, like and then they got the little wetland,
yeah,
marshy area where there's beaver and snakes and muskrats and just all types
yeah.
of wildlife. I mean, it's like boom, right there, right there in the middle.
Well, and it's not a, it's that's that park is it's not a city park. I
Right.
mean, it is. The city is it's an open. It's one of those kind of like Kohler, where it's owned by I think the Walton Foundation, but it's a public park. I mean, people can go use it, so it's
Yeah.
open to the public.
Yeah. It's
Um,
nice. It's nice to go out there during the day when it's not too hot.
it's an excellent. I mean, it's a good example of how parks can be
But like
cool
something like
places.
that would be like I could definitely see something like that happening at this park. At like Bella Vista, where you've got kind of those boardwalk areas. You've got really nice walking surfaces. Wildlife and the ability to walk over to the side of the creek and fish, or you got a launch point for a kayak. Because they have all of that out there at Osage, and so it's like you know we can do better here. We can do better here.
Yeah.
Like we can do a
I
lot
sure hope so.
better.
Yeah, I hope so. I hope we can. I think it's there's a lot of talk about one of the things that maybe it would revert back to the Trailblazers, and then they would just take the property back from the city. I think it's a little too early for that to know if that's going to be the outcome or not. I know for a fact that the majority of the Bentonville City Council does not support rebuilding this dam. So if there were some kind of a legal deal that made it to where they had to, I think they would just punt it right on back, to where the city doesn't own it. I mean, what would be the point? They don't want to spend millions and millions of dollars building a dam that the public doesn't want, for one, and that wouldn't be sustainable, and would just create another problem like that.
Yeah.
So it's
Well,
not
then
like
what would the Trailblazers? But I mean, ultimately, the Trailblazers would be on the hook for cleaning this up.
well, I don't know. Yeah, that's. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't even want to. I don't even want to speculate. I sometimes think though that I hate to be critical of, but I sometimes wonder if anyone could handle this worse than the city of Bentonville has. in terms of
Frustrating.
just the like you said, it's only gotten worse.
Well, you know that old saying, right? It's like I'm from the government. I'm here to help, right? Like anytime you hear anything like that, you run the opposite direction,
Yeah.
right?
Well, and then I think when you add in the fact that this is a battle over a dam, and how dams have been reviled in the Ozarks in battle for the Buffalo River, or just some of the other battles out west over dams. Dams are a very hot button, a very controversial issue among conservationists or environmentalists. We tend to flip out a little when it comes to a dam.
Well,
There's a
I would
quote from-
argue with the person that wants to hold this up, right? That wants the dam to come back, is you can already see a benefit to the parking lot upstream, the memorial, right? I mean, like I would argue that if the dam is put back in place and that memorial floods again, right? Then they should be put, like whoever decides to put that dam in, and if that floods again, they should be on the hook for cleanup charges and damages and everything else, because we've seen, like, nature took it out and that place has not flooded since.
It's a good point.
You know, so you are directly, like, that dam is directly contributing to a problem that has a real actual cost to a veterans memorial wall, right?
Yeah.
And when it breached, you know, it wasn't failed, as somebody likes to say in their comments, and then the next day it breaches. I would constitute that as a failure, you know, like.
Yeah, well, failed dams don't have to be breached. A
Right.
failed dam can be a dam that just overtopped. I mean, if an earthen dam, you know, like this one made out of dirt, is overtopped, it gets saturated, and once that happens, it never quite holds itself together the same. You can't dry them out, and so that at that point, various groups will classify that as a failed dam or a high risk dam or that kind of thing. It doesn't mean that it's breached necessarily, but it does mean that it's got some kind of deficiency or maybe structural problems or something like that.
Yeah, that
So
person
that's the thing.
commented on a post, that the video I posted of that flood where the propane tank was out there, and then like 2 days later, right? You know, but they commented on it and they said, it doesn't look like it's failed, it's holding water. And then, like, you know, the next day it's like, right? I'm like, you know, I'll pass out piping hot crow, man, any chance I get. So,
Yeah.
you know, I was like, what do you have to say about this? You know,
Well,
So-
and that dam, as you know, in oh gosh, way back in 2013 or 14, I used to go behind the dam and watch the water come through it when it was a full lake.
oh,
It wasn't just like a garden hose; it was like several different places with you know, like a fire hose almost. So water was running through it, and that's not a good thing to have running through. You know, because it takes a little bit of that dirt with it from the inside every time it floods like that, or every time water, you know, as water keeps going through it. So
now
I
maybe
mean, I-
Mr. It's Not Failed can go put his finger in one of those holes.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
Well, any final words, my man? It's been about 30 minutes, and we're going to move on with the show.
Kicking
but-
me off? You're kicking
well,
me
we're
off?
kicking you off. No, we're not kicking you off. We'd love to have you back, man.
You got a candidate coming on or something?
We do
We've
not.
got-
We have a different
got-
type of float crew coming on, man.
Okay.
So we're gonna go
All
to
right,
a
I'll
break and talk with them, and
I'll stay tuned in. I'll watch.
I
With you.
appreciate that, man. Remember to
All right.
like,
Thanks,
share,
thanks.
subscribe, follow Greg Van Horn and his group, Friends of Little Sugar Creek. Get involved, sign the ADEQ
Yeah.
report.
Send in a complaint to the ADEQ. Let's get this thing torn down.
Yeah. Greg, we appreciate you, man.
Thanks, Mark.
Anytime
Always
you want
fun.
to come back on and give us some updates, man, you're more than welcome.
Hey, I'll come back on and talk about dams anytime.
Hopefully, we'll have a studio by then.
Yeah, I won't do it on Zoom. This is my last Zoom meeting. Yeah, you guys got me on the last time I'm on Zoom. I'm done.
Well, I think
If you
this
have
one went
stock-
better.
If you hold stock in Zoom, I'd say now is time to
Sell.
figure out-
All right, buddy. You take care.
care.
We will talk to you soon.
Thanks
We'll be
again.
back after this quick break.
Free Little Sugar.
Free Little Sugar Creek.
Bye.
Bye.
Tired of waiting, lost while I'm sitting at home. Dream of a new destination, lust for something unknown.
We are back again. So, man, I love the work that Greg's doing out there with the Friends of Little Sugar Creek, man.
Yeah, he does a great job, and it's frustrating, man. It's just we're going into the kids are getting out of school. People like to go out there and have a good time, whether they're walking, they're hiking, or walking, or jogging, or biking. It's you don't have the circle anymore; it's cut off. It's ridiculous. It's so frustrating that this could be corrected, and everybody's got to sit down at a table and get this thing resolved. I mean, it's bordering ridiculous. You know,
well, it's not only a problem of the dam portion of that loop, right? It's now become a problem upstream where that bridge is behind Walgreens, right? Because that is a major thoroughfare for the Greenway, right? And they're expanding the Greenway,
the bikes, the tunnels.
And so now, like, you can't even get across the creek because it's all eroded around that cut bank corner right there where they put a bridge. So, like, I was out there flying, and a guy was like, have you been upstream? I was like, no, I need to make it up there. I'm going to try to make it up there and get some video footage of that bridge and how much of that's eroded after the water levels go down. I'm sure it's going to be just full on gap, man. I mean, you could probably probably take a boat through it after this last rain event, but it's a problem that needs to be addressed. And like, it just seems to be the thing with local governments now, or any governments, is we just ignore it and hope that the problem goes away. Right. Well, in this dam situation is pretty much that quintessential. We're ignoring it until it washes itself away. Right.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, like, nobody can use this park. I mean, unless you want to go to one side or the other, that's about it.
And you alluded to the fact it's a beautiful park, man.
It
could be something special. And prior to that, I mean, a lot of people were using it. Now they're not using it. They're going other places. And again, it's like you said, you come into Bella Vista. That's a focal point of Bella Vista right there.
It's not even Bella Vista's problem, though. I mean,
right.
It's like,
I know, but they have the access, and I mean, it's ridiculous. It needs to be fixed, and I mean, it's put there for the people's enjoyment, and nobody's enjoying it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's bordering, like I said, it's ridiculous. I hope they can sit down and come to some kind of resolution.
But their egos aside, do the right thing by the people, man. That's what they really need to do. So I agree with that. I encourage everybody to get over there on Friends of Little Sugar Creek's Facebook page. Greg's been putting out links, I think, almost daily to where you can go to file a report. Strength in numbers. That's what it takes. You have to actually. It's sad you got to sit there and kind of push the ball up the hill, right? The boulder up the hill. You got to sit there and do that every time, even on medial tasks, just like the new stump dump on my street, right? We'll get into that a little later. But, I mean, like, just trying to get somebody locally in our government to do what they were actually hired to do, right?
Yeah.
It takes, pretty much a January 6th direction or something, man. I mean, you got to sit there and you got to demand it, and you got to go out, you got to go in and yell at city council meetings and, point the finger and say, why aren't you doing your job? I mean, obviously, that's what it takes to motivate the right people in this community, possibly over in Bentonville, too. And half the time, they probably isn't even motivating them. They've got that superiority complex where, like, well, I just, whatever, I do what I want, right? Who are you lowly constituent?
So that, I mean, Greg provided a link with the Friends of Little Sugar Creek to file a complaint with ADQ. Went in there, did it. Only takes a few minutes. People need to take the time to do that. It'll help escalate it, and hopefully we can get some resolution.
So, man, looks like a fun place to float. Speaking of floating,
what we got from
that's a segue into another place, right? So I got invited out to do a little bit of drone work for the Naz-T crew.
Okay.
And I was like, okay, well, I'll show up. Where's it at? And they said, well, it's out here at, the Passion Play in Eureka Springs. And I was like, well, that sounds like a fun time. Check the airspace. Airspace is fine. And I was like, yeah, it sounds like a fun time. So I, boogied on out there on Sunday. And I didn't kind of really, they said, well, we're doing one wheel practice. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. didn't really know what I was walking into.
Right.
And that footage during the break was just some footage from a 360 cam and the drone that we put together. I'm telling you, bro, I had such a fun time out there hanging out with the
it looks
Naz-T
pretty
crew,
cool,
man.
Yeah.
Got on a one wheel, and but there's a local business in Bentonville called Naz-T's Float Shop.
Okay.
And we were lucky enough to get Rob on from Naz-T's and do an interview with him earlier this week. And I want to go into that and like introduce everybody into the sport of one wheel.
Yeah, I was amazed by it too. It was pretty cool.
So we're going to cut over to that interview, and then after that, we'll go to a break and we'll be back. So Mark, I had a really fun opportunity last week. I got to go out to Christ of the Ozarks or Passion Play, and I was invited to check out this new sport called one wheel racing. And there was a team out there practicing for an upcoming event. And we're fortunate enough to have Naz-T Rob from Naz-T's Float Shop in Bentonville on to talk about this new and up-and-coming sport.
Awesome.
So we're going to go ahead and bring Rob on real quick.
All right, cool.
Hey, Rob, how's it going, man?
Hey, gentlemen, how are y'all? Doing great.
Hey, Rob.
So you got to tell me more about this sport, man. I mean, like I got to see it for about a whole day, got a sunburn and everything out there, but loved flying the drone and meeting the crew out there. Was blown away, man. The good vibes out there. Everybody was having a good time. It seemed pretty extreme.
Yeah, I would say. I mean, it's one of the new things. It's kind of like skiing started out on the slopes, and then some snowboarding came after it, and it was seen as pretty extreme. And equivalent here, you got mountain bikes going down those trails, and we said, pretty sure we could surf these. And so we hopped on some one wheels and started going down them. And I mean, racing's been around for a little bit longer than I've even really been on a one wheel. But once you get into the community, the racing just kind of comes with it, I guess, in any competitive sport. But that's where we're at. Yeah.
That's awesome. So how did you get interested in one wheel? And then, how long's it been around?
Yeah, one wheel, I would say the big jump in 2016. So about, 5 to 7 years is really when they were starting to become mainstream. I personally got engaged about a year ago. I was, working my main day job, and we were working remote because of COVID, and needed a little bit of a hobby or something to just get outside of the house that wasn't jogging or, something else. And I saw an ad on YouTube about this self-balancing skateboard called a one wheel. And I just thought to myself, as a past skater, this does look pretty interesting. So sure enough, I got my first board and I hopped on it. And about a week later, it was just like a life-changing experience. It's like nothing that you've ever experienced before. But it's called floating for a reason. You feel like you are legitimately floating across the street, the grass, whatever you're on. And I was hooked instantly. I, got on and I was shaky and I was scared. But it stabilizes itself. It is legitimately the most unique experience that I've ever experienced, and like nothing else.
Yeah, I briefly got on one out there, and it definitely isn't like anything I've ever done before. And I've skateboarded, I've snowboarded. It's a different experience, but I think like with some time and effort, it'd be a fun thing to get into.
Where's the video for that, Chris?
Oh, we didn't take any video of me attempting it. I was holding hands, and shaky, and my legs were like, I don't know, something doesn't feel right. But I know probably a little bit of time on it, I would start to get the hang of it. Oh, did we lose Rob's video?
No, I'm still here. Sorry.
Okay. I think we lost your video. I'm not sure if I think that happened with Randy, wasn't it?
Yeah.
A call came in. Yeah.
There he is. He's back. We're back.
Yeah, sorry.
So tell us about Naz-T's Float Shop and the kind of services that you offer.
Yeah, the float shop was started because there was no one to service my one wheel after I got it. It is pretty new. It's a PEV, so it falls under that class. like an e-bike or an e-skateboard or something like that. So we consider it a personal electric vehicle, a PEV. And as soon as you get them, they come with these slick tires on them, which totally great. They're functional. But I wanted a treaded tire because I wanted to go off-road. Quickly found that there wasn't anyone around to do it. A bike shop will say, no, it's a tubeless tire. This isn't anything we can touch. Go to a motorcycle shop. If you've ever been in a motorcycle shop, don't take them a one wheel. They will say, get that Floyd out of my shop. And that's how Naz-T's Float Shop was born. It was born out of necessity and, something that just wasn't around for right now for a pretty big growing sport, as I felt it. And, we started the Float Shop in June of last year, offering basic service and repair. So a tire change, bumper replacement, stuff like that. Quickly got involved with Stoke Life Services, and they're, a national chain of PEV repair specialists, and they all are able to fix one wheels. And
Oh, wow.
they've essentially turned into a mentor system of, hey, you can do this and you can do that. And here are all these different unique customization options that are available for these one wheels. And I'm eating it up. We opened the shop and we started offering just the basic repairs, basic refreshes. Now we're offering one wheel rentals. The mission of the shop is to get everybody on a one wheel, right? So
nice.
we offer rentals to folks. We offer any type of service, repair, tire change. We can fix the lights. We can get the motors going, upgrade batteries, you name it. Any type of modification or customization that you can dream of, we'll give it a shot. We see if we can do it.
Nice.
It's literally a paradise for ideas, if you will. And that's what we go on at the shop.
I like that. It's innovative. And I mean, it sounds like you grew out of a real need that, to service and take care of people who had the same need. So I like that.
Yeah, it is. It really, folks started coming out of the woodwork. Before we existed here in NWA, there was not a way to get your board serviced other than sending it back to the OEM in California. And that takes a lot of time. And if you're anything like me, time off your board is time you wish you were floating, right? Like you want that board back. And so being able to minimize the time that folks have while it's in service, it just helped. It helped everybody, and it really did become a kind of community engaged. Let's get your one wheels out of storage. We'll get them running again, and then come float with us. Let's go have a good time.
So you mentioned there the other PEV styles there's other alternatives to the one wheel. Do you guys service those or do you support those?
Oh yeah, the shop specialty I would say is definitely one wheel, just because that was the first and that was the one that I certainly enjoy. But I mean, you have an EUC, the electric unicycle, all kinds of e-skateboards that are out there, e-skate, e-longboards. We fix all of those. I have several friends that have e-skateboards, and if as far as I'm concerned, it's a personal electric vehicle. It's covered by Naz-T's Float Shop. We're even partnering with some of the e-bike rental companies around here to service some of those Shimano engines, the electric e-bike engines and all of that. We can and are capable of handling anything under the spectrum of personal electric vehicle.
Awesome.
Hey, Rob, quick question for you. Are all the one wheels being manufactured in the U.S.? You said California. Is that where they're all being manufactured out of there?
Yeah, the Future Motion is the OEM, the company that actually does assemble, manufacture, get them all at Santa Monica, California. The shop, our shop's not necessarily affiliated directly with Future Motion. There's a right to repair battle and kind of all that stuff that's going on. But they are all manufactured and made in the U.S., and then they ship directly out from California. New models are coming out, new firmware versions, all from that same hub there in Santa Monica.
Awesome. That's good. Made in the USA, brother.
It is a big point for the company there. And look, they produce something. It is a spectacular machine, and we're glad that it exists.
Yeah, I've seen some of the abuse that these guys are putting them through out there at the pasture play, and these guys are still ripping through the woods and stuff. I was blown away. It's such a cool concept, though.
Yeah, I'll tell you, there are folks that, we're riding by and they say, look at the hoverboard. And if anyone kind of, any of your listeners are thinking, oh, it may be like a hoverboard, I can tell you that it would be like a hoverboard on steroids. The things are built like tanks. We're talking 30-foot drops, like water, the entire gambit. These things can handle. Whereas if you lean a little bit too far forward on that hoverboard, you're going down.
Yep.
Or you're going to break it or something. So, they do equate, but these things they're built to last. They're built to have fun on, and they're built to be extreme.
Cool.
So, what type of boards are offered out there, and what is like the battery life and the speeds and the mileage you get?
Yeah. There's 4 main models that are out. 3 are pretty much still being sold directly from Future Motion, but 4 main ones that are out now. There's going to be the Pint, which are the smaller versions, smaller form factors, and they're going to have about 12 to 14 miles of battery life in them. And most of the mileage ratings are going to be at certain PSIs with a weight of like 150 to 200 pounds and on street. So yeah, obviously terrain is going to lessen or increase the amount of range you'll get on any of these. But, I'd say 10 to 12 miles on a Pint. And then you can upgrade to a Pint X, which is the same form factor as that smaller one, but it has an upgraded battery. The Pint X will go for 16 to 18 miles on a full charge. And the speeds start to get up there a little bit. With the Pint, you're at 12, 13, maybe 16 miles an hour max speed. Pint X, you're getting into the 16 to 18 miles an hour for top speed. Next model up is the XR, and the XR is the one that I currently have the most models of. It's the most customizable model out there to date. Unfortunately, it is not available directly from the manufacturer. They discontinued it for the last model that we'll talk about, the GT. And the GT, if you can think about, we're going from Pint X, XR. XR is going to have a mileage of 18 miles, I would say, with a max speed of maybe 20, 23. You can upgrade the battery in those two to make them go 30 miles on a charge as opposed to the 18. And then you get to that GT, and the GT is the newest board that's come out. It's got probably the least amount of miles collectively in the community, but it's got the most power. It's got the most torque. This thing will go for 32 miles on one charge. It'll go 19 miles an hour before it even starts to tell you that you're going too fast. And that's called pushback, right? And pushback is essentially the board lifting up to say, hey, slow down, we don't want you to nosedive. The GT will go 19, whereas everything else will go a max of 16 before it tells you.
Wow.
So the GT is the newest model. I would say the XR is the one right underneath that, and that's the one that I have the most love for right now, just because we have 10 of them in our rental fleet, and I've named them all, and each of them have a personality. I'm sure I'm going to get there eventually with the GTs, but for right now, the XR still has that place in my heart.
Nice.
How's it for chargers? What do you use for chargers? Is there, if you're out for a day and you're going for, half hour, an hour, what's the recharge rate? I mean, you want to go back out again. Do you have a individual charger that can hook up to your vehicle, or, how does that work?
Yeah, the chargers are ranging. There's 2 types of chargers, and there's a standard one that will come with every board. It will charge a dead battery in about 90 minutes. And we're talking stock batteries here, not these extended ones that I've been referring to. Then there's a hypercharger, and a hypercharger will do everything just, 2 times as fast. So if you have a hypercharger and an XR, you can ride for, say, 18 miles. And then once your battery's dead, you charge it up on an ultra charger. 45 minutes later, you got a full battery and you can go again.
Okay, cool.
That's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
It is. And you can start, think about that. Like you can start well, I'm going to ride for 2 hours before my battery is going to be dead. If you have an extra board that's charging, you basically can ride all day long.
Yeah.
And not to mention, we're talking about charging. These things regen when they're going downhill. So I'm traveling downhill at a battery of 80% per se. You can have it regenning itself. So when you get to the bottom of that hill, you may have 85% battery.
Oh, wow.
Because it charges as it goes in your brake. So the regeneration of the battery coupled with hyperchargers and those types of things make it a really unique machine with some unique paths that you can take, I would say.
Yeah, I
But
mean, realistically, it's a viable option if you work in Bentonville and live in Bella Vista and you're somewhat close to the Greenway. It's a viable option for travel, man. I mean, it really is.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. It's a sustainable way to travel. You don't need gas at all for it. And yeah, the thing will go 30 miles. I haven't started my car in about 3 weeks, and it's only because I haven't really had to go further than 30 miles in 3 weeks, and I'll ride. They're almost waterproof when you get them. They're water resistant. I mean, the things will absolutely get you to work, get you to class, get you to coffee, whatever you need.
Nice.
Hey, Rob, Chris just was talking about where you could ride, and you talked about the Greenway. What other places? I mean, is it street legal like you would have like a bike where vehicles would have to yield to you, or how does that work? I mean, do you follow the same rules of the road as you would on a mountain bike or a street bike, or?
Yeah, good question. The designers of the one wheel kept the engine or the motor, the wattage of that motor at such a way that it is actually classified as a Class 1 e-bike.
Okay.
And so the way that I would describe the rules of the road, if you will, is going to be equivalent to that of a Class 1 e-bike or a mountain bike type situation.
Okay.
Oh, and Arkansas did pass those laws, basically acknowledging the bikes get to basically use the roads just as if they were a vehicle,
Right.
as long as they're following the same rules of the road as a vehicle would. So I think that would be
Right.
equally applicable, right?
Agreed. Yeah, and that's the rule of thumb that we go with right now. And there's obviously statewide, some legislature statewide, but then each of the cities are able to make their own rules. And so we take it a step further. It's like, yes, maybe legally if we're in court, we're a Class 1 e-bike, but let's play by the rule of don't be an asshole and essentially just be respectful to the other people there.
Right.
We're fairly new to the roads, to the trails. So when we're on the street, we try to yield to everybody. When we're on the trails, we try to yield to everybody.
Yeah.
Just maintain a respectful kind of self-awareness of the people around you.
Yep. Share the
excellent
road,
points.
share the trails.
Exactly.
So what kind of local events can we look forward to regarding PEV sports? And I know that they were out there practicing for the Dirt Surfers race in a couple of weeks. But is there any other events going on?
Yeah, Dirt Surfers is a big one. Now that we're getting into kind of the racing season, you are going to see a lot of stuff locally. So Dirt Surfers, as you mentioned, will be May 19th through the 22nd. But then toward the end of the summer too, in September, mid-September, late September, we have Float Fest. Float Fest 5 is going to be hosted right over here at Kohler, which is like less than a mile from the shop.
Yeah.
And it is the primo, I would say, one-wheel downhill race event. Everyone loves the trails that they built here in Northwest Arkansas. I've loved them since before they were even formal trails. And those are going to be the two big local events that I would say. But we have a lot of stuff, smaller events that are going to be more locally focused in the community. We're talking like First Fridays. We love the Mudtown BMX track in Lowell, and so we were hoping to get some stuff going on out there. And then we do pop-up events with local communities. So the fire truck is one, and we do some stuff as far as we'll come to your place of business and set up a tent and just bring the stoke with us, let some people try it. So look for us, you know, as you're
Yeah.
out and about. You may see our banner. We pop up so that folks can try it, and we love doing it, and we love to not tell anybody where we may be, and just show up and see who wants to flow with us.
Heck yeah. I look forward to, we're going to definitely, I'm going to make it out for at least 1, maybe 2 days for the Dirt Surfers race. And I do look forward to Float Fest as well.
Yeah, definitely.
you know.
I want to get out there too. It'd be nice.
Yeah, they're gonna be great. The other big one that I want to mention that'll give some folks, I'd say, a better taste of all of what a PEV kind of community has to offer is Amped Electric Games. It's the weekend before Float Fest. And it's going to be out at the Benton County Fairgrounds. And we're talking EUCs, which are those electric unicycles, that big tire right in between that guy's legs. He'll do a 40 to 80 foot jump on that thing. It will be something to see.
Yes.
A little Evil Knievel going on there, man.
Oh yeah, it's like the bigger the motors, the bigger the batteries that we can pack into these things. We're gonna throw our bodies around. We'll see what happens.
Cool.
We're gonna have to make it out for that one.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I can get a flight waiver for that airspace out there for that. I might have to do that. So you guys recently reformed a race team as well. Can you tell us what the team's about and what the goals of the team are? Do you guys do charity work? Are you looking for sponsors, etc.?
Yeah, the NTC, as we call ourselves, or the Naz-T crew, we formed ourselves just out of a group of friends. It started with me and one of the shop partners, Thomas, and we got a few guys together that we were all just individuals one-wheeling around and decided to join forces. The stoke is better when we're all together type thing. And we just started building a community of everybody's welcome. We want to share what we've learned. We want to share this experience. And we grew from a team of, 5 or 6 around Float Fest 4 last September to a team of about 15 to 16 people. We are going to Dirt Surfers, and we will have racers in almost every single classification that's there. And so we're talking, we have female racers, part of Drift Sisters. We love our Drift Sisters. We have young kids. My kids race, and my kids love to one wheel and just do the whole thing. And then the NTC, we get together and we do what's called Family Float or Dirt Church. And we all meet just at a spot that's in the local community. And we do Naz-T floats where we pick up all the trash around where we are. And we just make sure that the area is clean. It's just one of those make it better than how you found it.
Yeah.
We also like to give back to the trail community. And so as such, we've adopted one trail so far, Tweety Bird up in Bella Vista. One-wheelers take care of that.
Nice.
We try to maintain it, keep it well, make sure that it's wide enough for even those trikes to go on as an ADA trail. But we do that as and then we're also always looking to just share the stoke, if you will. So if you see us out and you want to ride, we'll give you a ride. We are very involved with the soccer community and a lot of that's been going on. My wife grew up through the Lightning, FC United, now Sporting Arkansas Soccer Club. So you'll see us out there a lot too. My wife and I both coach to give our time to that. The NTC is also offering some of their time to help with some of the exhibitions that we have coming up. So you may see videos of Rocket League style soccer games being played on one wheels and stuff like that. Just to entertain and show, we're here, here's what we're about. But as far as, what is the team about? The team's about making sure that everyone has an opportunity to be part of something bigger than themselves and making sure that everyone has an environment to where they can be encouraged to do something that they may not be as comfortable with as they used to be. It's a support system for folks, less than it is, a race team trying to win some cash.
That's awesome.
We really are a family. Yeah, it's a family, and it takes a village, right?
Yes, it does.
Yeah.
That's awesome, man. It sounds like you guys got a great thing going on here, man. And I mean, I love it. Like I said, it's got that vibe from like whenever I was younger, getting into dirt bikes and riding ATVs and stuff. It's the same vibe, but it's just a totally different vehicle, and it always a pleasure to be around that type of energy because everybody's into it, they love it, and they're always looking to help each other out. I love it, man. It was. I was talking with Troy after that weekend. I was just like, this was such a good day out there hanging out with them and seeing something like this, and I wish you the best with your shop and the growth of the sport. And I hope that you come back and fill us in as you get. Whoa, shit! What just happened there? Sorry, people. Technical difficulties. We do hope that Rob has the best. I was doing some prep work, trying to do some prep work.
That's okay.
But that was actually the end of the interview. So I apologize about that, Rob. We did not get to wrap that one up properly. What we will do is we will go to a quick break and we will show some more of the Naz-T crew playing around. Be right back.
Tired of waiting, lost while I'm sitting at home. Dream of a new destination, lust for something unknown. Oh, you better leave it alone. I'd rather get up and go. How long can I lie around waiting for it? Sometimes you gotta walk out the door. No limits, no ceiling, no crown. No pressure gonna hold me down. No stopping till I break every rule. No limits to what I can do. Nowhere is too far away. No border gonna stand in my way. No wall that I can't break through. No limits to what I can do. Yeah, drive on the wrong side. Just live while I can. Stay here in the moment, 'cause I'm free to be my own man. No limits, no ceiling, no crown. No pressure gonna hold me down. No stopping till I break every rule. No limits to what I can do. Nowhere is too far away. No border gonna stand in my way. No wall that I can't break through. No limits to what I can do. Sometimes you got to get up and go. No limits, no ceiling, no crown. No pressure gonna hold me down. No stopping till I break every rule. No limits to what I can do. Nowhere is too far away. No border gonna stand in my way. No wall that I can't break through. No limits to what I can do.
Well, those are the breaks when you're doing a live show, man.
It happens, man.
Contrary
Yeah.
to popular belief, there is a lot of production work that takes place that people are probably not aware of just to even pull off something, right? But, it's live, it's authentic, this is what happens. But at least you know that we're not like cutting and, rehearsing and everything else. It is what it is. Luckily, I was just trying to get prepped, so I didn't have to do it during the break and I could take like a real break and go use the facilities. But, whatever, I'll hold it. I had to do worse in the Army, right? Hold it and hold it, right? So it doesn't matter, Look, I apologize to Rob, though. We do actually have that pre-recorded interview, though, and we will be posting that as a short for anybody that's interested in watching that just by itself, and we'll do the same with Greg's interview this week. That being said, man,
great interview, man.
Fun time out there with those guys and gals, man. I mean, like, it is a different level of energy. I came back refreshed, this is why I got into videography and droning and everything else, man.
Yeah, it looked awesome. You did a great job.
Fun stuff,
Yeah.
And I mean, I love the fact that Rob is renting these one wheels. People can actually rent them before they decide if this is actually their thing. Sign that waiver. Go throw some money down and get out there, and they give you instruction too. So, I can definitely see myself on a one wheel, not on those dirt trails though. But I mean, like, not anytime soon. You got to work your way up to that eventually. But this is something that I think that can keep you young, man.
Yeah, I'd love to try it. We talked about that before, but absolutely great interview, man. Rob, he's very authentic. You can't help but gravitate to a guy like that. The camaraderie being out there and doing that. So, wish him nothing but the best. And I'll get out there, man. I feel bad I didn't get the chance to get out there with you, but we'll get out there next time.
Well, they have a race coming up this. I think it's the weekend of the 20th. Dirt Surfers out at Passion of the Christ, or the Passion Play of the Ozarks.
Okay,
out in Eureka Springs. Dirt Surfers 2022. They got categories for everybody to race in and stuff. I mean, if anything, it's going to be a good time to watch and meet people, and check out a new sport, right? I mean, like, I'm telling you, it's a different experience, but going out there and watching this and watching the talent and the skill that it takes to be able to even ride on. I mean, look, man, I rode around in the parking lot, okay, and I had my friends holding my hands, like, he's walking with me. Just don't lean too fast. Just walking with you, right? Walking the Green Mile right there. I mean, like, but it's like, okay, I got the balance down. Oh, okay, I can kind of turn a little bit, but it's going to take some time, man. It's going to take a whole lot of precious time, man. It's going to take plenty of time to do it right now. All right. So I always sing in these bits, man, but whatever, But it's definitely something worth checking out. Something, we have so many trails in Northwest Arkansas. It's nice to see somebody actually leveraging those trails for something alternative, right? I mean, back in the day, I used to skateboard, man, and I loved it. And then when I was stationed up in Washington State, I did some snowboarding and stuff. Learned how to snowboard up there, and it really wasn't that hard after being on a skateboard for so many years. And then getting on the one wheel, it's a little bit. I'm getting on it at a later age in life too, though. It's been a while since I've skateboarded or snowboarded, but I mean, like, I could definitely see me getting into it. I really could.
Right. Yeah,
it's going to take time.
Yeah, for sure. That was it was awesome though, man. It was, I can't wait to get out there and check it out though, firsthand. So, well, I wanted to, I know the last few weeks we've been going back and forth, but, this is a pain point for you. What's the update on the deck?
The deck. Yeah. Still no email. Still no action. Actually, there's been action on the site though.
Oh, there
has been action on the site.
So they're cleaning it off?
No, sir, not at all. No, there's no action actually, like real positive action, right? No, it's the inverse of that. So yeah, I'll take you over to web share real quick. Beep. There we go. Instead of cleaning it up, the builder decided he was going to bring more out. So we've got a bona fide stump dump on our street now, man. I mean, like, you can't make this up anymore, man. You really can't.
You can't. You can't.
Yeah, it even got stuck out here. Like, okay, remember there was a deck covered up with a little bit of brush. Now there's more trees out there. There's a bale of hay over to the right. You can't see it in the picture. There's like a baseball and some type of fuel can, like an accelerant, spray butane can, something may have been spray paint. I don't go on the property or anything like that, but like somebody backed down in here and decided they were going to dump more trees and stuff out here.
So if I understand you right, it's grown exponentially. But not only that, did you get a call back from the city? Or I mean, they were supposed to follow up with you, right?
No, it's
so that hasn't been done either. So basically, nothing's done, and we're in the same spot you were 2 weeks ago.
Well, I would say we're worse, right? Because more stuff has been brought out, and now it's just basically turning into a bona fide dumping ground on our street. Again, would love to hear back from Mayor Christie, State Senator candidate Christie, who says he is a hold on. Somebody on a group decided they were going to reach out to Mayor Christie regarding Common Ground. We talked about them last week.
Yeah.
And if he was like affiliated with them or not. And so they reached out to him, and I think it's this one. Good morning. I was wondering if you could tell me if you're affiliated with Common Ground or Jim Hendren, or if you've spoken to anyone with Common Ground. If so, what is it that you like about them? Thank you. And his response was, my campaign is not coordinating with, let me make this a little bit bigger for everybody out there on the interwebs. My campaign is not coordinating with Common Ground constituents are telling me that as a problem solver that they expect their elected officials to collaborate to develop constructive legislation. Bella Vista has a governance structure, often referred to as the three-legged dog stool in the city, POA and the original developer, Cooper Communities. Each entity agrees that working together keeps the stool intact.
It's a simple yes or no question.
It's are you affiliated with? No, you're getting like
it's a yes or no.
Now, I really want to know. I want to know. People tell me I'm a problem solver. Who the heck are you hanging out with, bro? like really, you need to surround yourself with people who are true friends that love you and care about you and tell you the cold hard truth. I want to know give me one thing that what ascot you're going to wear today? Is that a problem? What pants you're going to put on? Which kitty flavored socks are you putting on? The ones with the little fluffy cats on there. What freaking problems have you? You obviously can't take care of a blatant problem on a street, and it's not just me calling about it. It's multiple people on my street, right?
Yeah, your whole neighborhood, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's an issue that's ongoing. So I guess at this point, we reach out to the owner of the property.
Some people call me a problem solver. Are they high? I don't know, man.
I don't even know where to go with this. I don't even know where to go with this. I mean, this is
so he says he's not affiliated with Common Ground Arkansas, right? Well, Common Ground Arkansas obviously feels that they are affiliated with them because this is their headquarters. They got his he got his Peter Christie for Arkansas and Jim Toll out there, right? Remember, we brought this up last week,
right?
The article and everything else. It's cool to be independent or whatnot, right? You're blatantly lying, man. There's also photos circulating on the internet where he was actually at the Common Ground table during the Reagan Day dinner that happened in Benton County over the summer.
Oh.
So
I just don't understand this. I mean,
I'll tell you one thing though.
So it's a yes. So he's in line with.
Well, he's lying.
Okay.
He didn't say no. Well, did he say no? Hold on, let's look at his response again.
He just deflected.
My campaign is not coordinated. Yeah, your campaign's not that's a non-answer. Are you affiliated with them? Yes,
That's
I
what you-
am. Right? Should have been the answer, but typical politician lies.
What's the three-legged stool have to do with anything? It's a yes or no, man. I mean, I don't understand.
I mean, really, man. Somebody needs to freaking a problem solver would say, if I have a three-legged stool, I'm going to make another leg. Right? A problem solver would be like, let me go ahead and whittle out. I mean, I don't give a crap if you got the old timer and a freaking hickory piece of whittle it out, man, and put a fourth leg on that thing. That's a problem solver. I'm sorry, maybe I don't know, right? Dude, I mean, I'm so frustrated with this. This individual. You need to just ride off into the sunset, man.
Yeah.
Like,
I
really.
mean, again, I can't waste my vote on this nonsense. It's nonsense. I can't do it anymore. And more people are going to come to the same point I've come to. It's just you're beating a dead dog.
I think somebody needs to ask him if he's pro Second Amendment. Like, after finding that mayoral, that conference of mayors, like let's impose restrictions on the Second Amendment. You know who isn't imposing? Dude, I'm gonna tell you right now, man. You driving over there, coming up Spanker Creek Road and all that. Yeah. There's a new little yellow sign out there on top of Dotson stuff. Apparently the NRA endorsed Jim Dotson.
Wow.
Not all, let's take away the guns, Canadian Christie. I mean, like, I'm sorry, man. Look, times are getting rough, right? Times are getting rough. We watch it every day, right? Right. You want to vote for a quote unquote Republican who wants to take away your guns? Go ahead, by all means. Speaking of,
well, I don't think he acknowledged that he signed up for that. I'm still trying to. I mean, I called out to DC.
Yeah, we called to DC this week.
They haven't got back to me, so I don't even know. I mean, he hasn't confirmed yes or no on that.
I'm going to cover up this dude's address because we don't dox nobody. I probably need to fold it and cover up my address too. Whatever, man. All this stuff, public information. Anyway, but got this little puppy in the mail. I'm sorry, I'm not talking to the mic. It's vote for me.
Okay.
Where's Amber Heard when we need her to lay a turd? I don't know. Opportunity, better schools, more jobs, new roads and trails. Again, we broke this all down when we broke down his video. What is his goals? Here's the Peter Christie record. Here. I'm just reading what shows up in my mailbox, man. You don't want me to read it on the interwebs and break it down. Don't send it to my mailbox, all right? Better roads, economic growth, business protection. Business protection?
Yeah, they have there's a mob going around and shaking down owners.
Do we have the mob in Bella Vista? Shit, we do. Probably we do. It's called the ACC, bro. You can't paint your building that color, bro, unless you pay me. Show me the money, right?
I can't exhaust any more time and effort in
better
in this
quality
nonsense.
of life. How has Peter Christie created a better quality of life on his record? I can tell you there's a bunch of people on the east side that had some really bad quality of life.
Right.
Because he failed to do his damn job.
Right.
Just saying, it's your record. This is not your record. This is a bunch of malarkey, as Joe would say. It's a bunch of malarkey. Safer communities. Crime's going up in Bella Vista. Okay. More cops on the street and improved fire protection. I would argue that maybe that last one, we do have more cops on the street. Improved fire protection, I don't know. I need some statistics, right? I guarantee you one thing, though. When you blatantly lie to constituents for as many years as you did, I'm probably just... There you go, bro.
What are you doing, man?
I had to do it. I don't care. I don't care, man. Like he's not my dude, man. He's not. He's a liar. Prove me wrong. Prove me wrong.
Right.
What's up with my street?
I don't know.
It's funny how Mayor Pro Tem Fowler was taking care of the problem. Then old Pete gets back from Canada. And then somebody sets it on fire on my street, and then like down, like nothing, crickets, right?
Yeah.
Fine.
Well,
I sent you an email. There's a report of contact. I could FOIA and show you exactly. I know what day I sent you an email.
taking care of the
You
citizens.
ain't done
of Bella
nothing
Vista.
though, right? You ain't done nothing.
Yeah.
Didn't even
Yeah.
respond to my email.
Yeah.
Keep it up, Pete. What's that song? You ain't seen nothing yet. You ain't seen nothing yet.
Unbelievable.
Get out on Monday and vote for anybody that you want to, though. Just saying.
All right, man.
You had to
Yeah.
bring up the deck, man. You had to
I
bring it up,
know, I
didn't you?
know.
Didn't you? Look what you did, man. Look what you did.
Man. I'll probably bring it up next week until it's
Man,
done.
You're just gonna,
mean,
gonna keep you. It's like I got an open wound,
I mean-
and you just keep poking your. What's that? What's that? What's that?
Well, here's the thing, man. I mean, it's a simple thing to fix for a citizen in Bella Vista, and the reason I'm not laughing at you, I'm laughing with you, because the irony here is being able to manage all this, and then he wants to run for a state senate position. You can't handle a simple task like this. I mean, that's it.
I don't think that guy could handle running a lemonade stand, man. I mean, like, to be quite honest, like, I'm starting
He's
to
crazy,
question,
man.
like,
I don't even.
I mean, who's actually running stuff in the city? It ain't him, man. It
I don't
ain't,
even-
man.
It's
So,
crazy. It's crazy.
uh,
All right, so we're gonna get off that topic. Is this?
yeah, mule. Here we go again, right?
All right, so this past week, the meltdown with Twitter. We're going to hit on that quick. A
Oh,
little
the
bit.
meltdown on Twitter. Yeah.
Yeah,
Go
you know
ahead.
what? We're all for freedom of speech, Chris. But for some people, they need the safe space, and everything else on top of that. But I just don't understand that the control. It goes back to controlling the narrative, man. If you don't like what someone says, you want to remove them completely.
Oh.
I mean, it's nuts. It's just absolute craziness.
It is. I mean, at this point in my life, man, I don't know. I guess my give-a-dang is busted. I really do. You're free to think what you want, man. You want to remove me? I'll pop up somewhere else.
Right.
Like, we saw behavior like this, though. It's like, well, if Elon Musk is taking over Twitter, I'm leaving Twitter. No, you're not. If Donald Trump wins, I'm moving to Canada. No, you're not. How many celebrities said that back in 2016?
Yeah, not one of them left. Not one of them left.
I'd be like, look, you want me to help you pack?
Yeah.
If you feel passionate, that passionate about it, you want me to help you
talk
pack?
the talk, you got to walk the walk,
Right.
man. And
We hear it.
doesn't
It's
happen.
virtue signaling, man. It goes back to
Right.
virtue signaling, and
Right.
Either get out there and make a real positive change or don't. But I mean, like, I'm just it's all noise anymore, man. It really is.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
what we're doing is real talk. There's two guys
Right.
sitting around talking with people, getting to know people in our community, getting to know
Right.
politicians that want to make a change in our community, figuring out which
Yeah.
politicians are, align with us, have the same ideological views, have the same dreams.
Yeah, I mean, like
Have a
we said
purpose,
before,
you know?
just be honest. I mean, your platform's your platform. Come straight out. Don't lie about it. I mean,
What is our platform, Mark? Have we defined
open
what our-
dialogue, man? Giving everybody the
Yeah.
opportunity to express their opinions, no matter what. I mean, that's what we do. That's what we're about. We don't hide from anything.
Right. I mean, I'm free to think the way I think. You're free to think the way you think. I guarantee you, we do this podcast long enough, which I fully intend on doing it, right? There's going to come a point in time when me and you hit a topic that we disagree on.
Right.
And that's probably going to be like one of the epic podcasts where we actually
Right.
get into that healthy adult debate.
Yeah, and that's fine. I mean, again, that's why we appreciate doing that. And if we don't agree with something, that's we can still respect each other at the end of the day. And unfortunately, that's just not the way it is.
I don't know,
anymore.
man. I don't know. I might move to Canada. Never.
So the
I'm
other
sorry, I
thing-
can't say you betcha. Yeah, buddy. No. Oh,
So the
buddy.
other
Yeah, you
thing-
betcha.
The other thing I wanted to hit on was the state of Kansas had a unidentified company.
Oh, I thought you were going to say like
Request.
fucking aliens and stuff, man. I mean,
No.
I thought you were
request-
getting ready to go X-Files. I thought you were.
They're offering $1 billion to relocate this company, right? And they tried to push it through the Kansas legislature without disclosing it. Apparently, they had them signed NDA, non-disclosure agreements, not to disclose who these companies were, and try to push it through without the people even knowing about it. I don't even know what to say to this. I mean, it's just insane.
I'm pulling this up. I'm pulling up.
Yeah.
We gotta be careful that we don't catch a ban.
Well, that's fine. We can still have discussion.
All right,
about
so
that.
Kansas City. Here, we'll scrub through this. Let's go. Web share. The Kansas Senate approves. Chris, can you make that a little bit
$1 billion
better?
worth of incentives.
Theater mode, maybe. Let's see if we can.
Yeah, there you go.
There we
For an unnamed company. They never disclosed who the company was. Apparently, they got a hold of these politicians out there and had them sign NDAs. So in other words, they would furnish them with information. They couldn't disclose who it was, what it was, and they took it upon themselves to try to push this through the legislature, the state legislature, without people knowing about it. It's craziness.
How can you approve a bill with like nothing in it, though? For
Man,
$1 billion?
I don't
$1
even
billion?
know.
$1 billion? That's some Dr. Evil stuff. man.
And you have these politicians that represent the people that are doing NDAs. When's the last time they've done NDAs for a government job?
Well, I get NDAs, like it, but that's not on a politician per se. That should
That's
be
what I'm
on
saying, bro.
that, like
That's what I'm saying.
the team
Yeah.
that's approving the bid for award, right?
Right. Yeah,
But,
I don't even
like,
know where to go with this.
To
I mean,
sign an NDA for a like I don't know. I faith in the system, right?
yeah. I mean, people are irate about that. I would be irate.
How are
about
you
it
going to
too.
even audit
Taxes.
it? How are you going to audit if any of these politicians have financial interests in
Well,
the
they're
bill if
often-
they've signed an NDA?
Right. I know. It's like a double-edged sword, right? Well, they're offering thousands
Oh,
upon
you
thousands
can't
of
make this up
jobs and all
anymore.
this growth and stuff like this. And I mean, again, you're not letting the people getting involved with the process. You're not voting on it. I mean, it's just backdoor kind of, hey, we'll release this after midnight. Nobody will know about kind of stuff. You know, it's the same thing we talked about
After
before.
midnight.
Yeah, I mean,
Oh, my
it-
gosh.
I want to keep up to speed with what's going on with that because I want to find out who that company is at the end of the day.
It's probably a
I'm sure
biotech
someone's gonna
company,
leak
man.
it.
It's probably a biotech company. Those things are popping up left and right. You noticed that
You
after
might be
this
right.
whole
You might be right.
COVID thing, right?
Right.
Right. There's a lot of biotech companies popping up.
Yep.
But man, $1 billion, man. Where's that Dr. Evil bit when we need it, man?
I know.
$1 billion.
Well, I want to find out. Like again,
taxpayer
someone's
money
gonna-
too, man.
someone's going to leak this eventually, so it'll come to.
Speaking
It'll
of
come to the
leaks,
forefront.
man, this whole thing with the Supreme Court having that leak this week,
Yeah.
that's a little concerning, man. Highest
Right.
highest court in the land got a disgruntled employee working for it that's going to willing to, man. All I gotta say is, man, do what your pay grade can handle. Do what you think you can handle, right?
Right.
There was that one contractor that leaked some stuff after Trump got in office, like worked for the Department of Homeland Security or something like that. Had an interesting name. I'm drawing a blank on it though right now. Her butt locked up in jail, so I mean,
Yeah.
but you want to go ahead and be like that disgruntled employee and do that type of stuff. Look, man, it's the sense of entitlement with people these days, man.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
you're at. I don't care if you work for the public school system or the city. I don't care who you work for. You work for the people when you are in a public position.
Right. Yeah.
Don't bring your crap to the table. Don't do it.
Right. Right.
You start doing that, even if you're a contractor, you start doing that, right? You're gonna have one of them come to Jesus moments. You are. Like, I may have messed up. Hey guys, we messed up, right?
Right. Yeah.
It's not your place, not your time or your place.
Right. Right. Yeah. So I'll stay on top of this. I think something in the next few weeks will come up eventually on it. But the one more thing you want me to remind you is the gift card.
Oh yeah, the gift card. So again, I saw a few people subscribed and liked. I didn't see that many comments though. So again, reminder, podcast number 009, go there and leave a comment, like it, share it, subscribe it. Do that when we hit 200 subscribers. You're going to be automatically, if you've left a comment, anybody who's left a comment on podcast number 009, when we hit 200 subscribers, will effectively be in the drawing for a $100. I don't know. If you want a $100 bill, I'll give you a Benjamin, man. If you want a gift card, a Visa gift card, if I got to mail it, I'll give you a Visa gift card. But regardless, $100, easy peasy. All you got to do is leave a little
Nothing wrong
comment.
with that.
Like, share, subscribe it. Leave a little comment.
Yeah.
That's it.
Nothing wrong with that, Chris.
Right.
So what a great show
Apparently,
tonight.
some people are afraid of free money, man, unless it comes from the government. I don't know.
Man, hey, great show tonight. Special thanks to Greg and Rob. Man, they just crushed it, and man, I enjoy having guests on. So
Yeah, running a little bit longer tonight. We had 2 interviews. Kind of a little bit out of our norm, but you know what? We felt that they were both due. And Greg and Rob, man, always delivering, man. I mean, I'm blown away. I can't wait till they get into that Float Fest, man. Time we're gonna get back with Rob and talk about that Float Fest and that Benton County EC games and stuff.
I'm gonna have to bring Quinn out, man. He'd get a kick out of that too. So I can't wait for that too, man. That'll be a good time. So,
All
what do you
right,
think, brother?
I think we're gonna call it, man. We went right at that 9:59 mark, 2 hours. So again, everybody who's hung out with us, on the live, we've fluctuated. Appreciate you. Thanks for hanging in there with us. We love you. Hope you have a great week coming up. Hope you have a great Mother's Day if you are of the mothering type. And you know what? Like, share, subscribe, tell a friend, help us grow the show. Anything that you guys want us to look into, shoot us an email. Emails are on the screen pretty much the whole time. Till then, we will catch you next week, Friday, 8 p.m.
Amen.
Stay safe, happy, healthy, and humble. Catch you
Thanks
next
again,
week.
everybody. We appreciate you.
Good night.
Take a stand, everybody, come take my hand, come take my hand, walk this road together.